Closing out another season. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Season 2, Episode 12 of Hell's Paradise. And yeah, we didn't actually finish things off this season. There's apparently enough content for a third season, so I guess we're going to have to wait for that at some point. But we are leaving this off, which is really surprising. Because it just feels like, and I said this before, it doesn't feel like there's enough time for a full third season. It feels like there's enough time for, like, maybe, like, 5 more episodes at most. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think, like, that's actually going to be the case. I think that there is going to be another full season. And I'm just wondering how it's going to be spread out. Because there's enough still to do, but unless these battles just take up multiple episodes that we're going to have, like taking on the ninja, taking on the other Asaimon that have come in, I just don't see how they're going to last that long. Because that's the only thing I can see. But we also saw that they were arriving last episode. And I mean, I guess there's still the other Tensen, and we have to get the elixir and escape the island and have at least some little bit of an epilogue. So it's like, I guess there would be more. It's just, I don't know how. I just don't know how it's going to be another full season. It just feels like that's too much, unless, again, the fights last long. And they're pretty separated as well. Because I guess if you have, like, we have 3 main new Asaimon. No. 4. We have 4 new main Asaimon who could each have a fight. And if they had, like, let's say 1 episode each for a fight, that'd be 4 episodes. And then you have to account the other Tensen that are still there. So that's like half a season right there just for the fights. And that's only if you're accounting for 1 episode per fight. So yeah, actually maybe if the fights are just extended and everything, provided we have, like, notable fights for each of them as well. For all I know, the 2 Asaimon, the really tall lady and the young kid, they could end up fighting together for all I know.
And that could change things too. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. And as always, don't tell me. I want to remain spoiler free, but yeah, it's one of those occasions where it feels like this should be wrapping up. But if you really think about like giving everybody a fight, then I guess it could last. I just I don't know. It just feels like I don't want season 3 to just be fighting, you know? This season had a lot of that, but it also had a lot of like introspection and thought and planning. And so it's like I want season 3 to like not just be pure action. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be like pretty much pure action. It just feels like the best kind of elements of this show are when it blends the action with the, actual story stuff. Either way, either way, I think it would be best to just get into this and see what we have in store, see how this season ends off. And I will mention in the afterthoughts what is going to replace this on the schedule for Thursdays. Which is actually going to help out quite a bit because, this has been like ongoing, like an airing series. And so having something replace it that's not currently airing is going to help out with like pre-recording for Patreon. Having to wait each week to get to recording this has been like hurting the Patreon pre-recordings. Mind you, it's like the week these episodes come out or the week they go on Patreon, not YouTube, but still. Either way, either way. I'm excited to get into this, so let's just do so.
Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out.
Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I'm not really quite happy about this. And it's not the ending itself. The rest of the ending was fine, but you know what I'm talking about. If you watched the reaction, which if you didn't watch the reaction, why are you watching the Afterthoughts? I'm not quite happy with Yuzuriha being back. Her death was perfect. It was one of those few deaths that are so actively satisfying, so actively, like, just well done, that honestly, having it be a fake out feels like a slap in the face. It really feels like they basically just are giving the writer, I assume this happened in the manga too, but it feels like the writer gave just a big middle finger to all the readers saying like, oh, you had this like really amazingly written, well handled death scene for a beloved character. Well, fuck you, she's alive anyway. She survived that, and the emotional, powerful moments of her death mean absolutely nothing now. It's just like, what was the point? What was the point of that? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just don't like fake out deaths. Actually, I know I don't like fake out deaths. Like, this is not new information. Fake out deaths irritate me because it's just it's like you put so much effort into like this death scene. You put so much effort into like giving meaning and depth and like a proper like end to a character arc. And then they just come back and it ruining all of that. It just feels insulting to the audience. And there's occasions where a fake out death can be done well. Like let's say a character is killed almost out of nowhere, and it's like it doesn't feel very satisfying. It feels like a very like shocking, more intense death that's meant to like surprise you more than anything. But then it reveals that they somehow survived after that. It's like that could be a little better because there's not satisfaction behind the death. There's not this closure. But here, it's like with Yuzuriha, it's like that's the perfect way for her character to go out. It's so satisfying. It fulfills her character arc. There's nothing more for her to do. Her continuing on at this point makes no narrative sense. Her entire character arc was closed out with her death. So her coming back is like, and I like Yuzuriha, I like her a lot, but she should have stayed dead here. This is actually something I'm really not fond of. I really don't think this was a good decision. I don't know if I'm in the minority here. I don't know what manga readers thought of this when like they read this in the original manga. I don't know what anime onlys think about this, having seen this now, but I don't think I like it. Unless I'm proven wrong in season 3 and Yuzuriha does have some use and importance for being brought back. Like, because there's the stuff about her sister, but her sister's like implied to be dead because of the illness or whatever that was ravaging her. So it's like, it's not even that she could reunite with her sister and everything. It's like there is no conceivable reason to bring her back. I feel like she was just brought back because she was a fan favorite character. It very much feels like this is a case of after the chapter that she died in was released, the fans were very upset because they liked her character too much. And so they like ranted and raved, and the author, the mangaka, just caved and brought her back a few chapters later because, you know, he's a coward and didn't want to like take all of that negative reception for a decision he made and like actually stick to his guns. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying it is that. I'm not trying to make any actual claim about the mangaka here. I'm just saying that that's what it feels like. That's the vibe this gives off. And so, no matter what the actual truth of the matter is, no matter what the reason for this, maybe this was always in the plan, I still don't like it. And I'm allowed to not like something. Anyone is allowed to not like something. It's all subjective. You're allowed to have your own opinions. This is something that I just can't get behind. Again, I felt her death was way too perfectly done. I felt like it was too satisfying. It had too much closure. It makes absolutely no sense to bring her back here. It actively hurts her character to bring her back. So I'm not about that. Like, I don't know if it got through in my voice, like, when she first appeared and everything. I don't know if, like, I say it all the time. I don't know if my expressions get through very well. I'm autistic, and a lot of the time I don't express things super well, either, like, via my voice or my physical, like, expressive emotions and all. So I don't know how well this was gotten across, but like when she was like when it first showed like her sticky stuff come in and everything, it's like I instantly realized what was going on, and I don't know if like I don't know if it registered on my face very well, so you'll have to tell me, but I was extremely confused And then when it actually showed her come in, it's like I was very upset and saddened by it more than anything. Again, I don't know how well this got across, but it's like I felt like betrayed. And that's what I feel like this is. It's a betrayal to bring her back after how good of a death she got. But again, I might be proven wrong in season 3 when that eventually comes. Do not tell me, by the way. Do not spoil anything for me about what's going to happen in the rest of this series. Yeah, I just didn't like it. Now, we got the starting confrontations here at the end between the newly arrived Asaimon and the Iwagakure ninja and our remaining heroes. We see that the girls, Sagari, Mei, and Yuzuriha are confronted by, well, the girl. Our tall lady herself, whose name I don't remember. I don't remember any of their names except Shugen right now, so. And I guess technically the new Gabimaru. We didn't hear her full, like, normal original name. We only heard part of it, so I can't even say on that, but I'm just gonna call her the new Gabimaru. But yeah, we get to confrontations. We see the little kid goes after Nuragai and why is his name escaping me now? I've remembered his name pretty well most of the time. But he goes after them. Sword Dragon and the brothers are gone after by the lazy guy. Shugen was confronting... Who was it? I'm trying to remember all the pair-ups here. Because it wasn't Gabi. Gabi was, like, going towards the flower, which I think is the orange-haired Tensen. Oh, no. Yeah, Blade Dragon and Fuchi is Shugen. It's just the brothers who are with the one guy. And, yeah, those are our matchups. Because new Gabimaru hasn't matched up with anyone yet. I assume she's going to go after, like, classic Gabimaru. Original recipe Gabimaru, if you will. Though, honestly, he's probably not the first. He's probably not the actual original. Because it seems like, from what we found out here, that Gabimaru is a title, and the one we know probably was not the first. There was probably a Gabimaru before him, but upon him being adopted and brought into the clan by the leader, his father-in-law, ironically, he was given the title as his name. And it's like the only name he's ever known because he was a baby. But yeah, so now he's being proclaimed to be killed, or not being proclaimed to be killed, but being set up to be killed by the new Gabimaru, except she doesn't want to do that. She has a massive lady boner for him and wants to create the world's most powerful Gabimaru power couple. So that's fun. I was not expecting her to be a massive simp, but I'm kind of into it. It's kind of a funny reveal. Also, it makes sense considering she's set up to be the next Gabimaru that she can use Ascetic Blaze. I'm thinking that's probably like a specific ninjutsu for the Gabimaru title holder of current. Because we haven't like heard about like any other ninja using Ascetic Blaze specifically, but I mean it's possible they could. It's just I like the idea of that's something that specifically only the person holding the title of Gabimaru is allowed to learn. I like that idea. I don't know if it's actually the case, but I think it would be cool. I like that we see the humanity in these other Asaimon, though, because it's like, it makes them feel again, scarier. I said it during the reaction, but the scariest, most intense villains are oftentimes the most human. Whether they're evil or genuinely believe that what they're doing is justified, it still makes them frightening because it shows that the lengths they're willing to go to in order to achieve their goals, despite what their humanity is telling them. We see that Shugen is an extremely empathetic, caring person, that he cries for his enemies. He cries for those he feels he needs to cut down. But he genuinely does feel he needs to do it. For one reason or another, he feels like it's a necessity. And he always prays for those he kills, wishing that they could be reborn in a, better circumstance, that they could be reborn good. The problem is, and I've talked about this before, but Shugen has a very black or white view of, good and evil. And it's not always that simple. Sometimes it is. Absolutely, sometimes it is that simple. But most of the time, I would say it's not. There's a lot of gray area there, especially when it comes to, the law of the land. Because a lot of it seems to be like, oh, this person doesn't follow the laws that the shogun has put down and stuff, or whatnot. They're not following like the political rules. It's like, yeah, sometimes that's for the better. Sometimes the laws of the land are not good and shouldn't be followed. That's just the case. But the problem is, that's not really how Shugen was raised. He was raised and trained to basically believe in, like, the supremacy of the shogunate. And because of that, he and even the other Asaimon there believe that anyone who betrays or does something that's against the shogunate in any way, that they're bad. Or at the very least, corrupted. And so there's this kind of scenario that they create in their heads to justify taking out even people who would normally be on their side. Because it's like, oh, these people have betrayed the shogunate. These people have betrayed us. When in reality, that's not even the case at all. None of the Asaimon who's in our main group have done that. They've just realized that these criminals are maybe not as evil as the law has made them out to be. That these are people just like anyone else, and that they deserve to be heard out. And in a lot of cases, they might even be genuinely good people. Who literally did nothing wrong, like fucking Nuragai, who was literally just criminalized because of the tribe she came from. It's literally racism. It's literal bullshit. Like, even the little kid, the new Asaimon who came in, even he's looking at Nuragai's like profile and basically not finding anything of actual like problems. He's not. He's even looking at her profile and it's like, oh, I don't think she actually did anything wrong, but oh well, she's an enemy of the shogunate. It's like, my dude. Nuragai is literally the most innocent person here. She was literally criminalized because of the circumstances of her birth. There is so much that is fucked about that, but it's also very real. It's extremely real, and unfortunately, this kind of shit has happened throughout all of history. It fucking sucks, and it shouldn't have happened, ever. And it should never happen again, but it's absolutely going to. But yeah, I'm just really hoping that next season isn't just fighting. Because while I like the fights, I love the fights a lot. It's like we've been focusing on the fights for like the later portion of this season. And I want more than that, you know? I've said it before, but I want to have more than just fighting. That's what makes this series so good. When, the characters are talking to each other and we're getting information, we're getting development. Like, just so much of that is like some of the highlights of this series. Some of the moments where they're just talking is some of the best stuff. Because it actually, like, develops and builds this series better than most of the fights do. And again, I love the fights. I'm not trying to discount the fights. I'm just saying, comparatively, the fights don't do as much. So yeah. But I've always been like that, to be fair. Like, I talk about it all the time. I tend to put story and character above anything else when it comes to an anime series. And so it's like, talking moments like that are actually kind of my bread and butter. It's what I tend to really love. And again, I love a good action scene just as much as anyone else. But it's not the most important part of a series to me. It's animation is never going to trump story. That's why I think season 3 of One Punch Man, for example, is phenomenal and the best season of the series. That's why I think it's basically a 9 out of 10 show for that season specifically. Because the story and character work are so damn good that the weak animation doesn't hinder that. The voice work is so damn good. The audio work in general. The hype moments. It's like, it's a combination of things that you can't get with like the manga. Like, again, literally, like with, again, voice acting and stuff and music. With like the amazing like storytelling that is from the manga. Or, well, technically originally from the webcomic with One Punch Man. But it's a case of like, this is just the kind of stuff I tend to enjoy more. And I've said it before, you're allowed to like whatever you like and you're allowed to dislike whatever you dislike. It's all subjective. There's no objective truth when it comes to the quality of any piece of media. But because it's all opinion, I'm also allowed to have the opinion that I don't understand yours. I'm also allowed to completely not get your opinion, and you're allowed to not get mine. That's how this works. So yeah. But either way, I hope, if we haven't already, because I haven't heard anything, but I hope we get an announcement for season 3 soon. And I hope we get it before too long, because I think season 1 came out in 2021. I want to say maybe it was 2022. Either way, it's been a few years since season 1. And I'm hoping we get season 3 a little more quickly. I'm not, like, holding my breath for it, but I'm hoping we do. Because this has been one of the best new gen shonen, in my opinion. You would consider this shonen and not seinen, right? I don't know, a lot of that's very, like, let's be honest, up in the air. It's the organization of some shows is very, like, nebulous as to what, like, demographic it's part of. Because remember, shonen's not a genre, by the way. It's a demographic. Just like shoujo and seinen and josei. Those are demographics, technically, not genres. The problem is, most of the time they're treated as a genre. And a lot of the times, two excessively different anime can be considered part of the same demographic because of like just what the author is like trying to put them out for. Because like Frierin's a shonen. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, but Frieren is shonen. That's the demographic that the author is going for with it. I don't think Frieren should be a shonen. I don't think it fits as a shonen. But technically speaking, it would be a shonen. So it's like, yeah. I feel Frieren's for more mature audiences, is what I'm saying. Shonen is like technically supposed to be for like teen boys and up and stuff. But I think it's for more mature audiences. But also, like, these demographics are always also gendered, and it's just like, I also feel like Frieren is for like absolutely everyone. There absolutely is no gender vibe to that series at all. Like, I understand like a lot of action shonen are tend to be like geared towards boys for, let's be honest, sexist reasons. Because boys are seen as like, oh, boys like action more than girls, which is just bullshit, by the way. It's always been bullshit. It's never been accurate. Boys and girls, there's like that kind of stuff in pretty much equal measure. And there's plenty of boys who, if not like forced into this false idea of masculinity and stuff, would be just as into the quote unquote girly stuff, like romance anime and whatnot. Sailor Moon has a lot of male fans, and that's a shoujo. But again, it should not be a shoujo. Or is that actually considered? Hold on, give me a second. Actually, I think Sailor Moon is shonen. Because I think Sailor Moon was in Shonen Jump. No, it is shoujo. Okay. It is officially classified as shoujo. But that's the problem. Like, watching Sailor Moon, it could absolutely be a shonen. Hell, Sailor Moon can get pretty mature at points. Like, you could even argue that it kind of bridges the gap between the likes of shonen and seinen and stuff like that. Just the more, like, teenage demographic and adult demographic. It can get pretty mature at points. I'm not talking about the original dub, by the way. As much as I love the original dub's voice acting, there were a lot of writing and localization issues with that, so... I'm talking about, like, the original version, as intended. But again, that's a great example. Sailor Moon, it doesn't feel like what you would typically think a shoujo to be. Because there's no reason boys can't be into Sailor Moon. It's an action-heavy superhero series, for God's sake. How does that not appeal to even the sexist idea of what boys are into? Like, yeah, there's a lot of romance in it and everything, but there's also a lot of action, a lot of, like, battles against literal demons, who have some pretty creepy-ass designs, by the way, sometimes. And it's just... It's just the demographic thing makes no sense. It's never made sense. And so it's like, a lot of the times it can feel very off. And again, I'm saying all this, like, because I honestly think Hell's Paradise is not, like, realistically a shonen. Like, it is classified as one, but it's more realistically a seinen. And let me see if I can, like, find the exact age numbers for this. Yeah, it's just shonen is targeting teen boys, while seinen targets 18 plus. Seinen is mostly supposed to explore more complex psychological and darker themes, while shonen focuses more on friendship, action, and coming of age. Um, and all of that describes like why Hell's Paradise should not be considered shonen. Because Hell's Paradise, it is all about exploring complex psychological and dark themes. It's extremely dark, it's extremely intense. It's honestly, I wouldn't really say it's appropriate for young teens at all. Like I would say that like anyone under the age of like 16 or 17 probably shouldn't watch it. But it definitely doesn't focus on friendship and coming of age. Action, sure, but uh it makes no sense. It's a demographic system that is entirely about what the author wants to target the manga towards. It doesn't matter what the actual content of the manga is. It's basically where can the author get their manga published. That's all that matters. That's all that determines it. That's why it's just so nebulous as to what demographic a lot of these shows are. And why I don't tend to like focus too much on it, even though I'm like going on this long ass rant about it right now. um but I don't usually rant about this, so it's probably good to kind of get this out of my system. Anyway, that comes into kind of like where we leave off with this. So, with us ending season 2, we need something to replace this. There are a lot of shows coming out in the near future. In terms of the spring anime season. But I have other plans for that kind of stuff when that comes. And at the moment, I think I want to get back to Genosha. When I put Genosha on hold, it was always going to be temporary, and I was always going to want to get back to it really quickly. Genosha was a series that really hooked me in like super hard because its concept is like on the surface a little silly, but like really fascinating. I like the mystery aspect to it. I love the characters. Even characters who I'm not a huge fan of overall are like still fascinating in just seeing them interact with the characters I do like and even each other. And then the last couple episodes are honest that I watched, like 8 and 9, are probably the best episodes of the show so far. And very exciting to find out more about all of that. But yeah, it's just there's so much great moments and exciting stuff and like big twists and turns. And I wanted to get back to it as soon as possible, and this is the first and best chance I've had. So we're getting back to it. It hasn't even been that long. I think it's only been like what, a couple months at most. I think. Something like that. But yeah, I think it's the right time to bring that back. And don't worry, everything that I'm excited for when it comes to the spring season, we will be checking out to some degree. Whether we're going to be getting to it like as a regular series reaction or if I'm going to be checking out a first impression, do not worry. There will be plenty of stuff coming. There's also going to be a few things in the summer season as well. So stuff to look forward to then as well. But for the time being, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of the season 2 finale? If you have read the manga, please do not spoil me to anything that happens in the future. And for now, yeah, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.